Testing. Okay, great. Welcome back, everybody, to another stream. Let's take that over from the top. And hello. I'm going to turn down the music on my end. If it ends up being too low for you, let me know. This is Lo-Fi Girl, their Halloween version. And since we're writing some spooky stuff, I figured, why not? It's perfect, right? So that's where we're at. Just a couple quick housekeeping announcements. I made mention of this on my Instagram, but for those who are watching on Twitch, there will be ads more frequently. There will be 1 minute worth of ads every 60 minutes. This is to help, well, I kind of skirted around the issue last week, but I did lose my job. I was laid off earlier this month. And so this is just to help me get some supplemental income for the bills. I also have a Ko-fi page to, you know, for people to donate and become members. And, you know, if you don't want to just donate, I have commissions up as well for some short stories and oracle card readings and things like that. But yeah, the goal here is to get a story out, edited, and published. Depending on the story, it might just be published straight to the Ko-fi page, or might post it to something like REUPLOAD for the public in mass to read it. So yeah, that's where we are now. And this is a brand new story. We're not changing anything here. We are going to go ahead and we are going to get to writing. I know I had some like channel points or rewards that would help for like NaNoWriMo. I don't know if they are currently enabled. I think they are all enabled. It looks like. I'll have to work about them later. I did try to disable a bunch of them because I was trying to move over to a new point system. That is currently on the back burner pending some coding issues that I need to get help with. But yeah, that's where we're at for those things. So the yeah, so for right now, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to just write and chat. I don't do the Padermo stuff. I'm usually pretty good at writing and chatting at the same time. I feel like anyway. I feel like having people work with me helps me to, what's the word? It just helps me get, it just helps me keep on track, sorry. But yeah, here we are, and we're going to go ahead and get to writing. This story, I literally settled on the idea for the story last night. The premise of the story is a house that's responsible for people having nightmares. It's nothing super fancy or anything like that. It's just, it's not going to be like cosmic horror or anything like that, like other past stories of mine. It's just literally, well, it might be like, and it's not going to be fluff horror either. It's somewhere in between. I honestly wasn't even settled on the whole scenario for this either until like halfway through this morning. So this is definitely a fly by the seat of your pants type of story. And So we're going to go ahead and see what we can do. Hold on, my Windows is giving me an update on a hurricane. Yeah, I hate when it does that. There's no hurricane update Windows. Anyway, let's go ahead and right now I'm highly distracted. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and you just got to get words to paper, right? I'm going to go ahead and get words to paper. I don't have a whole lot of time. And that might just be the theme of these streams is just get what I can done. But when I get 10,000 words in, we'll go ahead and we'll do like a gaming goal, World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy or another one of the games that I play. For those who are watching at the time when I hit the goal, we can put up a poll inside then. But for now, let's just go ahead and focus on getting those words done. I like the word Emily. Do I want to do it this way or do I want to actually do it different. And this isn't national, or I don't do National Novel Writing Month anymore, but I'm not worried about pumping out a bunch of words in a short amount of time. So I can do sprints if you guys redeem points or whatever for sprints. But for now, we're just going to focus on writing the story. We're going to have a different intro. All right. The thick, viscous red liquid pulled down the wooden walls, covering her hand that was using it as a brace. Covering her hand that was... What's the phrase when you... that was brushing along the wooden... that was brushing along the surface, along its surface. Emily's eyes shot open, her breath nearly catching in her throat each time she gulped for air. The room around her was dark. Only make out she can only discern the outlines thanks to the street light a few houses down. Nothing was out of place. Nothing was amiss. These walls weren't wooden. She reached a shaky hand to her chest, still struggling for breath, and I don't say relaxation. Yeah, still struggling to ease. Still struggling to ease yourself from the terror of the nightmare. Another nightmare. closed her eyes again. And the sensations came rushing back, as if warning her away from falling back into that dream world. A deep exhale came out once she was able to regain her breathing tempo. And she opened her eyes once again. I don't think having a difficult time trying to keep her breath steady, Emily opened her eyes again and called out to the device on her bedstand. In the female robotic voice, followed by the two Wi-Fi enabled lights fading into luminescence. All right. Emily squinted a bit as her eyes adjusted to the new light, but was finally able to let out a long exhale as her body calmed down from the dream. The wet and rough sensations as her body calmed down from the dream. This is supposed to update automatically. Hold on. That's weird. I'll worry about that later. It might be a Google Docs thing. But let's get back to the story. Alright, both are able to. Pushing herself into a sitting position, the young woman surveyed the room. Changed much at all since she left for college nearly 6 years ago. The walls were still painted I don't want to say pink. I don't say yellow either. And I don't want to say purple because it's kind of my favorite color and I kind of don't want that to be part of the story. Baby blue. Also painted a periwinkle color, almost like the shade of the sky. And the furniture all had a floral motif carved into the wood, a gift from her late grandmother. Although the paint on the color on the flowers had faded over time, still managed to give a small smile at the reminder of her deceased grandparent. It is a comfort after experiencing the horror of the nightmare. A small shudder ran down her body. A small shudder ran down her body. The comfort was brief and gone all too soon. The feeling of dread, horror began to come back and threaten to overtake. Calm down, she whispered to herself. She started to close her eyes, but did not complete the action, leaving them half-lidded, allowing a tiny fraction of the lamplight, of the bright yellow light, to be visible through her lids and lashes. She began, without her eyes shutting fully, she hoped to prevent the visuals of the nightmare from returning in all of its, returning to her mind's eye. Then she was sure that the memories still tried to push forward, but Emily kept reminding herself that that was all it was, memories of her dream, of her nightmare, nothing more. with the mantra on repeat in her head. She began to try to control her breathing more. 5 seconds in through the nose, 5 seconds out through the mouth. 6 seconds in through the nose, 6 seconds out through the mouth. It was a nightmare. It was not real. You cannot do more than me. And I cannot do more than just make me afraid. Once I conquer this fear, I will conquer the nightmare. This was a technique she had learned from her friend prior to her visiting, coming back. I want to say friend Mallory. Prior to coming back home. She had learned from Mallory. Separable ever since. I'm thinking. She had although they had graduated and gone on with their respective lives in separate cities within the same state, they had remained close and had a monthly dinner that of them and had a monthly they had remained close and had a monthly dinner where they would meet and catch up. Let's see. All right, this was it was during the latest dinner where Emily had informed Mallory that she was returning home for Thanksgiving weekend. More swallowed, chewed and swallowed. She leaned forward and asked. Since you died. What color is Emily's hair? Or she'll have brunette hair. Not answered, not replied. She's continuing on the thought. She's clarifying. Began to clarify. I mean, da-da-da. You used your family as an excuse not to see your family? Mallory inquired, both curiously and accusatory at the same time. That's talent. Emily to change her mind on that line of questioning rather quickly. Am I staying with him? It's... I don't know why I capitalized those. Think back to my aunts or my cousins. A lot of work. It was, Emily admitted. I would go through all of that. Honestly. As much to herself as to her friend. Began to answer without even registering that her friend had nodded. I think... Oh. Just afraid to sleep there. Dark, scary room or something? Emily got shivers just recalling. Child in the room. I'm not asleep. Because what is it? What is it? Asked her. Stop dancing around the thing that's bothering you. Flatly. Hi, Ames Wrights. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Stop dancing on something that's bothering you. I never got a good night of sleep in that house. Emily admitted. A twinge of a frown tugging the corner of her mouth down. Her teenage years. I would always have a nightmare or something kept me from sleeping. We'll bring that one up another time. I never got a good night's sleep in that house. Emily admitted, a twinge of frown tugging at the corner of her mouth down as she tried to recall her teenage years in the home. I want to say that I would always have a nightmare or something. It was so bad I couldn't get it away. Last single night of sleep? Not that I remember. It's just me being afraid. Well, I think it's time to go back because there's a good chance that it's all just me being afraid of a few bad nights, and then I should be. Really? Mallory nodded slowly in thought. You know, it's all in your head. What you gotta do then is just make sure that you don't get the nightmare. Or if you do, figure out a way to prevent it. If you do happen to get it. Or if you do figure out a way to figure out what prompted it. They say most of the time nightmares are nightmares. Finish that statement by chomping into a ketchup-soaked French fry. Nightmares are because of the food we eat. Best friend missed the statement and nodded. And she swirled another fry into the ketchup on her plate. After a nightmare like that, after a nightmare, concentrate on their breath, on the breath. Can lead sleep paralysis and all that stuff. I don't think that's ever been a problem for me, Emily stated. So much taking life yourself. Good. Down again. And get right back to sleep. Emily's eyes. Emily allowed her eyes to close as that memory finished playing through her mind. Allowed her eyes to close as Her breath was slow. Was slow and controlled now. She didn't feel like she was. She didn't feel like she was afraid anymore. There was nothing in her room with her. And she fully recognized that as disturbing as those mental images were, that's all they were. Mental images. They couldn't hurt her. Alright, let's see. We'll give it about 4 more minutes, and then I'll wrap it up. Alright, where was I? Emily allowed her eyes to close, so that's them. She opened her eyes again and looked around her room. Periwinkle walls, faded floral furniture, her bedstand held her automated device, automation device, and on its face read 336. Should let out another slow exhale. What kind of nightmares? End of the night. Why wouldn't they? Why did they have to occur? Why did they have to occur? Why did they have to occur in the middle of the night? Too early to feasibly any sort of day. Go through a whole new bedtime routine. Alright. Let's jump to the next chapter, which I'm not sure what I want to do for the next chapter, but we'll find out.